get right into it. We just gonna back test the strategy for 2 to 3 weeks, 1 to 3 weeks, 1 to 3 weeks. So first off, let's just end the week sub because we're currently in the middle of the week. So we go to the day. We need to get it to Friday. So 2 clicks. It's Thursday. Friday. Friday. Jump lower time frame, just confirm. Yeah. Now from here, we go to higher time frame. All right. So what we see here, overall price is bullish. Why do we say overall price is bullish? Because we see in a series of new highs being made and new higher lows being made. Look here, high, higher low. We broke this high, higher high, came back, retest. This high is higher than this low, higher low, came back to retest this high, pushed up. And the process has just been repeated. Higher high, price pushed down, higher low. It broke this high, higher high, and price pulled back, creating a higher low, and it looked like it's starting to break above these highs here. So overall bullish on gold. So from here, now I want to look at, I have my overall bias of what price is, which is bullish. Now I had to get it relevant and more closer to price. So price is in this range we see here. This is a relevant range, but what's more relevant is, where price currently is. Like this week right here, this structure right here, that's more relevant for us. But we do want to still get the overall image. We see prices in this range here. So if I was to highlight this high here, move it over, major, and we see this low here. That's the low. We see price rejects here, rejects, rejects. It came here again, rejects. So this is a strong resistance point, but we also are seeing that price is starting to close higher. You see here, this is the close here, this is the close higher, and it's closing higher. So let's see. Let's place a field here from this low to this high, -27. Stuff. We can even place it here. -38.2, -61.8. Okay. Overall bullish, like I said, but this here is the resistance. So on the daily here, like I said, this was this was really a daily field. We move this here to there, impulse. You see, it was an impulse of burger structure. You see, price, made it to this high, pushed all the way down, came back to the lows, retest the low. After they got extremely bullish, break on one, two structure points. Broke above, impulse move up, letting us know which direction price wants to go. Price come back and retest this high here and immediately push up. -27, and even goes above to -61.8. So from that detail right here, we reached -61.8, and this is a strong resistance point. We know that to break a strong resistance like this, we're gonna need a lot of volume, just like how this candle was. It was a lot of volume pushed up, and a lot of volume to push it down. and you can determine the volume by the size of the candle. Like for instance, this candle here, this is a large volume move up. It started to get slow, and these are nice volume candles as well, pushing price up. So to get past, this level here, we're gonna need a strong volume push up. But we got the 61.8. Still making a series of higher lows and post correction continuation. Higher low, broke above right here. It's pretty much the same, but still did make a higher high. So this is a higher low, and price is starting to sell its way down. Uh, One thing I didn't do is make a bias for the week. But what I am going to do is I said I'm going to go back to the black candles. Yeah, do that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so let's just go back to the black. All right, so let's do this here. Where's that point? I'm pretty sure it's this point right here. Let me go back. Yeah, I did an extra clip. So yeah, so at a nice point here. I do like that. We're gonna change it to a red level. This was the high. Price broke above. And sometimes we do have moves like that where price doesn't come exactly right to that point and push up. It, dies under it. You know what I'm saying? Get deeper in the retracement. Still made a higher low because we had to make it all the way down here to break that low. So we made a higher low and the price, pushed up. Um, but the thing with this is, price right here is -27, -61.8. Also on this one move here, higher low, higher high, or equal high, same resistance point, price pushed down, and now it's currently here. So honestly, what I will put here is this is a daily breaker structure. So price break under here, we could be heading to, you know, to the downside. Let's go. Another daily breaker structure. Started on 2, -27. Yeah, so we jump down to the 4 hour. See that thing. Because this is what I just had in post person continuation. You see this here is a 4 hour breaker structure here. And you see prices, came back to that point, found support, got under it, came back to the daily level, and currently trading around that area. So just doing some adjustment to my eyes because it's been a while since I did all black candles, but aesthetically, I definitely like how the all black candles look. Uh, but I definitely want to keep in mind, what price is doing. But overall, my strategy is, using structure. Okay, so we see we made it to this resistance point again. We retested this high, and the price is starting to sell. So overall, price is bullish, but we are at this level here. We made it to -61.8, -27, and price is starting to reject. So if price is in a downtrend, this right here is still -27. So what I'm gonna do is just see how price, what I'm saying, reacts. So I'm post them down. But we have some highs up here. Post them down and post correction. So you got this move right here. And post correction. So this right here is like your 4-hour break restriction. So let's mark it up about 4. And if you use the place of field, you have this impulse down 6.8, 23. So it actually could be in this downtrend just because how price is doing. But for what reasons? We reached this high, we made a double top, uh, -61.8, -27. Like I said, this is a weekly resistance point. Price broke under this 4-hour structure here. Uh, it started to create 4-hour bearish structure. As you see this push down, it pulled back 61.8, and it's starting to trade lower, broke this low. Price then come back to make a lower high, and it's continuing to sell. So honestly, and if I go back to this, you see this is your bullish candle up, this is your bearish candle, then price come back, push up, come back to this area again, and it's been pushing its way down. So honestly, I do think that price could be a bearish week just based off how things are looking on higher time frame and lower time frame. But of course, like always, we're always going to be able to adjust and adapt to the market. So I know I got that level, but I really want to use this one here. Because you see, this was, that break. But let me go back to the daily. Okay, so it'll be a little different if I use it. So I'm just gonna leave it right there with it, daily. But from a weekly standpoint, uh, break it down. Yeah. So honestly, like I said, I'm looking for price to potentially be bearish this week. And like I said, if I'm incorrect on that, I'm looking to make the proper adjustments so that I may be able to capitalize off, this year. This year. That's my 27 is here. See price pull back. 61 point 1 hour field. Reject. Broke this low, lower high. So yeah, I'm leaning more towards the bearish side of things. Okay, right under. Testing these levels. This level here, you see, we're testing it. So I'm just looking for price to continue to sell. All right, let's start this week up. Starting off, you see we made this push up. Actually, I can do this as well. So, you know, there is one target. But this was an impulsive break under as well. So let's actually place a field here too. And I really don't use this other template, but I'm sure that you're showing this right because I think I got it set up for 30 minutes, but there it is here. So this is basically like the field that I'm using now. And you see the green is like take profit. So this 0 will be take profit and all the way to this negative 27, 61.8. Pretty much how it lines up, but you know how things of the market could be. It all can, look all lined up, but still be, not what the market is going to do. Um, and this time, this type of approach, I want to, let's see, let me come over here right quick. Here, here, set, let's turn this to 5, and save it to default. To make sure it stayed the same. Okay. So you see you got impulsive breakdown. This is the lowest point price push to a week there. Let's see it start. Uh, trace impulse correction. You see it's still rejecting at 61.8. One other thing I do have to do is be mindful of these structures. So this right here will be a 1 hour breaker. Well, this wouldn't be a 1 hour breaker structure because actually I think it would because stop push down. Okay, let's go. So 19. Okay, so we see this here is pushing up. Okay. Me personally, I do like how they look. My overall bias is bearish. You see, price made it up to these highs again, um, and it made like this. What do you call this? Evening star pattern. You have a bullish candle up, low volume candle. Pardon me. Then you have an engulfing candle. Uh, large volume. So this right here could be, an early indication that price is going for this sale. From here, getting into a position, it will be getting into a position. It'll be a strong risk to reward. So, like the chance of if I am correct in my bias in the direction, the chance of me making a great deal of profits is high just because how far this move could go with a small risk. Because if I was to place my stop loss, it'll be above these highs here, and of course you'll be targeting down here. So like I said, I do like how that played out, formed, and came to this high reject. So I'm actually thinking about placing a short position and seeing how this trade goes. So right here will be a sell. Here, line it up. So I'm actually gonna go above this wick. And we could target the low, or we can target the zero, which is this negative 27. So that gives us a 2-to-1 risk to reward. If we do see this as being like that break of structure, you know what I'm saying, price continue to go lower, of course we can target, you know what I'm saying, down here at this negative 27, which lines up with this negative 61.8, which probably gives us a nearly a 3-to-1. And you know, a trade like this, like my strategy, I really like to take at least, you know, one trade, one good trade. So if this, you know, does play out, this could be, you know, easily the trade of the week. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I can easily be done for the week. But yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to do this position. So let's add 25. So we have 50 now. Let's go sell. Let's go potential loss, which is a little more than what it should be. So let's do this. Let's close. Let's go here. Let's take out maybe, let's do 10 just to see. Sell. Yeah, that's about right. Take profit is here. All right, let's see. Okay, so immediately I don't like how it's looking. So overall, I do see that I may have been wrong with my bias, uh, and the losses are likely to happen. But we see this next candle happen. Okay, let's see. I was gonna say in a situation like this, you want to pay attention to the details of the candles. It is. Click through. Yeah, click to the next day. So this right here, let's go and close this position. Yeah. Okay, so let's see what happened, what I did right, what I can improve on, and all these things. So, um, I will say the trades that I, you know, am taking currently are not like these huge upside potential trades. Uh, and this right here could have been more so like a greed type of trade or setup. You know what I'm saying? Just because I seen, you know, how much I can potentially make, you know what I'm saying, which is a great deal. And, you know, they can blind your judgment to, you know, what the reality of the trade is. So they just take that and adjust with it. So I do like that. We had early signs of price, you know, wanting to continue higher. For instance, you know, price broke up. It came to this point here, came back to retest its high after it broke, starting to push up, Could have been an early indication gonna get out there, but definitely, when we broke this, that was like the final thing that you need. Oh, let's go and get out of here. And you see, we closed early, minimizing, our max loss to a smaller loss, and just going from there. So we broke this right here, and we see that price is going to the upside. So just like I said before, you can have like these fields that just lined up, and it's like, oh, it's just looking way too perfect, but that's not the case. So, and we see that's not what you're doing. So let's see here. Let's see what it's pretty much. It may already, well, it's getting close to it. So impulse correction. And you see a strong break above these highs pushing up. So I came to this low. Still to that. Okay, so I know my bias is bearish for a week, but we're seeing that, price is pushing its way up. And I know I had this field here, but we see that, it's finally supported this level here. Could be making a higher low. Finding support. And we see we broke this level here. So like on our break structure. After you have the impulse break, you have the correction, then you have the continuation. Correction, then you have the continuation. I just feel like I'm missing some details, some things I'm overlooking. I wonder could it be because the black candle. Let's see. Let's see. So, it's just solely structure. Let's see, we got breakable structure here. Breaker structure. It's looking like it wants to continue higher with that, based off that. Uh, like I said, it gives the place a feel based off there. You have impulse, you have your correction, and then have your continuation. So let's place that field again. 27. Then a breaking structure will be this negative 61.8, which I do think price could head that way. If that's the case. uh, you see, like I said, the week, immediately start out pushing up. I was looking at price being bearish. But that doesn't mean that it pushes way up here and it could uh could not turn out bearish, but just how things are looking, just looking more bearish than pardon me, more bullish than bearish at the current state. Okay. So in my mind, I was just saying, I was watching this level here, and I'm gonna say, okay, a price break above a whole support here. I can see this being a nice point. And you see immediately, that's what price did. If I was to get in a long position, something like this, you know, you know, well, actually, it was a 1-to-1 like that. Stack. Uh, man, could. So let's actually do this. So I'm gonna go for here, which is 1.5 at this 4-hour break structure. Stop loss on this low here. So that means I'm gonna have to maybe 25 buy. I'll play out loss first and go take profit. So with the 25, I actually do another 25. And go 5. Actually, it's a little more than 5%, but we'll do it. You do better going under than above. So next time situation like that, we can do less. So negative 27 on candle. Next click price. Just a hair under my take profit. Wow. Okay, man. You had a situation like that. I'm talking about prices just a hair under. So it just seems like I wasn't precise enough in placing this for whatever reason. we see was overall correct in the direction. You know what I'm saying? Next candle pushed all the way up. Of course, it got above that negative 27. Was aiming for this level here, which it pretty much it did reach, but stop loss happened first. Okay, so one thing I think I am going to do is be done trading for this week uh, because I took 2 losses already this week. Not looking to take any more. It's not a fear thing, just uh, not take it's much more loss. So yeah, let's just go through this week just to see what goes on. So we had Thursday. That's usually I like to take my last position Thursday. Okay, so let me just stop here, pause, analyze this right here. So overall, correct in the direction. What I think I could have improved on was maybe stop loss placement, of course. Of course, I did see price potentially going to the 61.8 was, wanted to reach for that. But, this is just one of those type of losses that, what they explain is just a normal occurrence in the market. You know what I'm saying? So this right here just becoming just a hair under my level, and I get stopped out immediately. Uh, it's just a part of the market. It probably could have hit if I just used, what I'm saying, one of these like this level here would have been a take profit for me. Um, but like I said, let's see this if I use this low here and if I went for that high. So um, based on where I would have got in at, right there would have been better. But since I got in all the way up here, it's nearly a 3-to-1 with that. But I get in right there and losses right here. Um, like I said, it's just one of those normal occurrences that happen in the market. And like I said, you just adapt. Overall bias was to sell. Uh, and then we seen that market, wants to push up. We adapted. We seen the setup. Uh, we took the setup. We determined the risk, accept the risk. Um, we took a loss. We analyzed why we lost, and how we can improve, and just let the market play out just to see, what I'm saying, how my bias was, after the fact. Uh, and like I said, took 2 losses already. Don't want to lose anymore. So we just let this week end out and just, approach the next week. So this is Friday. So 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, so reach negative 6.8, price rejected. Okay, so first week that we traded was a loss. Um, see 10%, 5%. Let me see 10%. Hold on, I actually think I'm risking too much now I think about it. So I was risking too much. So if I had it on a basis of risking 5% of a 5,000 account, I was actually risking 10%, pretty much 10%, because I was doing like a $500 potential loss. 500 is 10% of 5,000, so I really traded too much. What it should have been is 250. That's 5% of 5,000. 10% of 5,000 is 500. Yeah. So I risked way too much. Okay, I risked way too much, and that um put me more in the hole. You know what I'm saying? Because now what I'm gonna do is adjust my strategy to where I'm risking 5%, and I have to get myself out of this drawdown. So first week was a loss because I over leveraged, overlooked the detail. What I did do was took a loss. I adapted to the market. Uh, I took another loss just because the placement of stop loss and just like market occurrence. Uh, but overall, after I adapted, analyzed, I seen where price could potentially go, where price could potentially do, and it did just that. Yeah, it just come with it. All right, so see, price made its way up here to the Wheeler reconstruction, especially it and go for the street. Y'all ranging right here at this point between this high and uh, this structure here that we broke. Honestly, with that information, I could see price. Let's erase that. We could see price potentially continue to the upside. We didn't break this structure though. This 4-hour break structure. We'll just have to see how the market plays out. If we, start to break these lows, then we can see price selling. Of course, we did reach this negative 61.8, which indicates reversal. Um, Post correction, continuation. We correct itself out back up to this high, then break above. Potentially could sell, or it could hold support here and push up. So just being mindful of it. Now we're just gonna mark up some breaker structure points where we want to keep our eyes on. Still want to keep this 4-hour one here because we see price did not break above this 4 hours, so it's still relevant. And when I started this week, I said bearish. One thing I didn't do was like had a target area. Okay, the price is gonna be bearish. What am I targeting? Would have been down here, would have been here, or whatever. If I thought price was bullish, okay, what am I targeting? It would have most likely been this high. And you see, what I'm saying, that's what it did. So maybe what I should do to make the adjustments is, of course, have my bias of, okay, I think price is going to do this, but also have the opposite side bias. Okay, I think price can be bearish this week. Okay, so if price isn't bearish and it is bullish, where do I see price potentially going? What would be the scenario that needs to happen to let me know that, okay, price is bullish, okay, price is bearish. So that's how we should make that approach. So like I already said, I think price could be well actually let's do this. Maybe what's going to help me make those type of changes and adjustments. Um, so really just having the two scenarios in mind. Okay, price bullish, we should see this. Price bearish, we should see this. So for one, if price be bullish, we should be seeing a break of this high here, and where we can see price potentially going to is this next level up here. So this high. So if price break this level, we see price heading up to 2075. And if price is bearish, of course, it will be targeting these lows again. So potentially this low here. Okay, what are the things that needs to happen? What are the things that need to happen to confirm, the buy or to confirm the sell? So for this, it'll be a break above this 4-hour break structure, of course. And for this one, it will be, I had that break structure, I already did that. So really can erase that. So let's just see what the structure is done. So let's draw it out so we can have a more visual represent let me say this correctly, representation. So I'm using a word I never said before, and it shows representation. Have a proper representation. So I ain't afraid to challenge myself in, my current state. Like I want, a nice vocabulary, but we mess up at times. Let's have a proper representation of what structure is. So impose, correction, impose, correction, impose, correction, right above, and pretty much back at this point. So, so this low point here is what you really want to be watching for. As you see, it's pretty much the same low. It broke on it just a little bit. Price pushed up, broke on it a little bit. Price broke up. So if we get a break closed under here, uh, really like a retest or structure, showing, then we can see price, continue to the downside. And like I said, we can be targeting the lows, but of course we have other levels of lows where we can see as potential stopping points. Okay, so yeah, honestly, I know I got it at the close. Let me see it is closing lower, but we could potentially put it at this low point here. I usually use the close, but we can visually see that. But this is really like that low for it. But if you want to use a zone, it would be this level right here would be a zone. I kind of gradually got away from drawing zones, but to be a visual, it'd be like that. Yeah, that's the low point. That's the zone. And it probably won't look so bad like on a higher time frame, but yeah, I kind of got away from zones because which are there already, just an extra drone uh, that I have. And you can see how the midpoint is, being respected right here, right there. Yeah. So this right here is your regular structure. Okay, so yeah, those are the things that I'm looking for. So price break under here, potentially give us our retest. Then I'll be looking for price to continue selling. Like I said, we'll be targeting these lows. In the scenario where price is bullish, and we're pretty far away from it. So this week got to be like strong big candles like this to really get price up there. But like I said, we get a break above. I'm looking to target uh, this weekly level here. But of course, we got, saying these potential stopping points with these highs here. Okay. Okay, let's start the week up. Okay, so just starting off right now, price could be bearish. And um, we seen in other scenarios where, something like this, it happened. And it easily could go the other way. But just looking at this and just thinking what the market did, it reached negative 61.8. It made it to its 4-hour break of structure. It rejected. Strong bearish candle pushing it down. Could be indication of, the direction the price want to go. It doesn't want to break above this point. We got strong bearish push down. After you have an impulsive breakdown, you have a correction, price start to push up at this 1 hour level, and it's starting to push its way down. So honestly, what we'll be looking for is more so like that break under, because this easily could be uh it's showing is like a bearish variation, but easily could continue to push up. But if we did place a field, it'll look something like this. And I don't want to get too caught up. You don't want to get too caught up in, okay, things lined up is looking good, but you know what I'm saying? You really have to see how the market is playing out. Because I can say, okay, it's bearish. It easily could be bearish. I could be wrong. Uh, and we see, all this right here is like lining up, like, oh, it lines up. And it's like this has to be, but it don't have to be. But let's just see how the market plays out, because it could potentially be what's going on. But we'll need to see a break of structure to let us know. But if I did want to go based off the close, it didn't close under. It closed at it. So we'll need to see a close under to really confirm that for us. I do like how it's doing that right there. And the thing is, you really do want to get in these positions as soon as possible with the best confirmation. Uh, and like I said, I really do like how it's doing that. But we really would need like that close under here to be that confirmation for us. Yep, still pushing down. Got to close under. So I really would like to get like my entry, because it's looking bearish. We didn't close under this level here, but we are closing under here. I'm gonna take the entry. Man, I really wish I would have got in up here. But if we was to go for a stop loss, let's see. And that's just the psychology part of trading that just comes with it. Go here, 101. If I want to target, like I said, these lows, basically this red level or 61.8. If I use this point here, it'd be like 5-1, but you see how far I'm stretching price to. And that right there is not. I do see the likelihood of price, making it to here. Cause like I said, I'll be targeting these lows. I honestly could be potentially targeting red zone just because it's so close. Like when we have areas like that, like I usually do target. Or I seen it does head there. So let's give it a try, man. We're here back testing, we're learning this strategy, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so like I said, I'm risking 250. I usually would have a stop loss above that high, but I currently have it right here. And I'm gonna have to accept that. Let's see what it looks like if I put it here. It's not a 1-to-1, but I do like how this trade could potentially go into my favor. Okay, so let's go 15. This is a sell. Sell, risking 250. So let's add 5. No. Let's take that back. Add 5. And sell. So it's a little under 250, but we'll accept that right there. So 237. Let's proceed in this trade this early. So look like we got like that break retest. And we make a retest here. And then we could see price continue to sell. So scenarios like this, I ideally would like to get into another position because it's more like the confirmation of what price uh, could be doing, and it'll just maximize our potential win, but also it'll be maximizing our potential loss. Let's actually give it a try. So I'm at 20, right? Let's go sell. So, okay. So this is demo trading. This isn't live trading, but you definitely feel like, what I'm saying, this is live. Like you want to treat it as if it was live and make those results. So it definitely doesn't feel. um, Let me just change the way what I'm saying and how I'm thinking. Though this is, I'm grateful that this is, a demo account or a replay account. This isn't a live account because I'm learning these lessons instead of having it to be learning with my live capital. But we see uh yeah, we just reached too far in price, target down here, and we was in profit and end up going to loss. 13, 14, and 15. All right, so let's see. We just gotta, review this. So 2 weeks of trading relative to, this chart would have been a loss. Over leverage, reaching too far into price. Um, you know, this and also being open to price potentially. I mean, the trade, not having a trade for the week. I just say that being open to potentially not having a trade for the week. Pardon me. But yeah, we're gonna end it here. We're gonna end the live.